Welcome to this life-changing video. I want you to take a deep breath right now and forget everything that's distracting you, because what you're about to hear could be the most important message you've received in a long, long time. This video is not just about motivation. It's not about quotes. It's not about believe in yourself and move on. This video is about transformation. And that transformation starts with deep truth that most people never realize until it's too late. The best investment in the world is not gold, not real estate, not stocks. It's you. It has always been you. While the world teaches you how to chase everything outside of yourself, money, followers, fame, likes, relationships, no one teaches you how to build your inner value. No one teaches you how to grow your mind, how to build your confidence, how to develop the discipline that creates real success, and how to design a life that doesn't need to be escaped from. That's why this video was created. Here, we're going to go through some of the most powerful, practical, emotional, and life-changing ways to invest in yourself. Not in theory, not in boring advice, but in ways that actually work. Ways that have changed lives. Ways that can change yours starting today. And if you're learning English, this video is also perfect for you. Every sentence is spoken in simple, clear English, designed to help you understand deeply, learn vocabulary, and improve your fluency while you grow as a person. So don't just watch this for motivation. Watch it to upgrade your life. Watch it to improve your English. Watch it for your future. And most importantly, stay with me until the end, because the last few self-investments we'll talk about might be the exact reason why your life has felt stuck. If you're ready to become the best version of yourself, if you're ready to invest in the one person who truly matters, then you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Let's begin. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because this is just the beginning of a journey that can completely change your life. The first step is simple. Read for growth, not for speed, not for show. The person you are today is a result of the thoughts you've repeated. And those thoughts come from the information you consume. If you want to upgrade your life, you must first upgrade your mind. And one of the most powerful, affordable, and life-changing ways to do that is by reading every single day. But I'm not talking about school books. I'm not talking about finishing dozens of books a year just to look smart on social media. I'm not even talking about reading for entertainment. I'm talking about reading for transformation, reading to grow, reading to think differently, reading to destroy your limitations, and build a new mindset from the ground up. Most people stop reading after school. They believe learning is only for students. So they scroll, swipe, binge, and waste time on gossip, memes, and comparison. Years go by and they feel depressed, confused, and empty, but they don't know why. The reason is simple. They stop feeding their mind. Your brain is like a muscle. If you stop using it, it becomes weak, tired, and slow. But when you read powerful books, you lift heavy weights of wisdom, clarity, language, and vision. You become mentally stronger than most people. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Daniel. He wasn't rich. He wasn't smart in school. He failed many subjects. Everyone around him said he would never succeed. He started working at a warehouse, lifting boxes, working night shifts, and coming home tired with no hope. One day during a lunch break, someone left a book on the table. Daniel picked it up. It was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He read the first page, then the second, and he didn't stop. That night, he searched for more books. He began reading about self-discipline, mindset, financial intelligence, confidence, leadership, building value, and finding purpose. He didn't just read once. He read every night for months, then years. He didn't talk much, but inside, his mind was on fire. Today, Daniel is not a warehouse worker. He runs his own business. He leads teams. He writes articles. He teaches others. And it all began with one small decision. I will not go to bed until I read at least one page. That is the power of reading for growth. Now, maybe you're thinking, but I don't know what to read and my English isn't strong. What should I do? The answer is simple. Start small, start simple, but start powerfully. Don't worry about finishing the book. Worry about understanding the book. Some beginner-friendly books that are short, easy, and life-changing include The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which teaches you how to stop suffering from overthinking. Atomic Habits by James Clear, which shows how small changes create huge results. Who Moved My Cheese? By Spencer Johnson, which teaches you how to deal with change. Ikigai, which helps you find purpose. The Power of Now, which teaches you to stop anxiety and live in present. The Alchemist, a story about chasing your dream and listening to your heart. And The Magic of Thinking Big, which helps you believe you're capable of more. You don't need to understand every word. Underline what feels powerful. Read the same page twice if needed. Don't read fast. Read deeply. When you start reading every day, even just a single page, something amazing happens. Your vocabulary grows. Your thinking becomes clearer. You gain confidence in conversation. You begin to speak better English. You stop thinking like a victim. You develop mental discipline. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You become wiser, calmer, and harder to manipulate. You begin asking better questions. You become unstoppable. Reading is not just learning. Reading is becoming. You become a better version of yourself page by page, day by day. Here's a challenge for you. Never go to sleep without reading at least one page of a good book. One page a day may not seem like much, but over time, it transforms your life. Imagine reading 5 pages a day, 10 pages a day. Within a year, your thoughts, your language, your confidence will be far ahead of most people. You don't need luck. You don't need money. You don't need perfect English. You just need a book and a decision. You want to invest in yourself? Start with your mind. Books are mentors that never charge you. They're available day and night. They don't judge you and they never stop teaching. One sentence from the right book can change your entire future. So go get one. Open the first page and start building a brain that no one can ignore. The next powerful way to invest in yourself is to learn English, the language of global opportunity. If you want to invest in yourself deeply and in a way that creates more opportunities for your future, then learn English. Not because it's cool, not because people will think you're smart, but because English is the key to unlocking a world of knowledge, freedom, confidence, and success. Think about it. The internet runs in English. Most of the world's books, interviews, podcasts, TED Talks, business deals, and global conversations all happen in English. If you don't speak it, it's like standing outside a room full of wisdom and opportunity while the door's wide open, but you can't step inside. That's why learning English is not just a school subject. It's an investment in your voice, your future, and your power to speak for yourself. Let me tell you a real story. There was a boy from a small town in Vietnam. No one in his family spoke English. He was shy, poor, and worked in a mechanic shop with his father. He failed his English exams again and again. People called him dumb, but he didn't give up. Every night after work, he sat with an old phone and listened to English YouTube videos. At first, he couldn't understand a single sentence, but he kept listening. He wrote down new words. He repeated phrases in front of the mirror. He shadowed videos line by line. No teacher, no class, no help, just consistency. Slowly, he started to understand. Slowly, he started to speak. And one day, he created a YouTube channel in English. Today, that same boy has millions of subscribers. He speaks fluently. He travels the world. He earns more than 100 times what he used to. He didn't win because he was born smart. He won because he invested in the one skill that gave him a voice: English. Maybe you're scared or feel too old. Here's the truth. You are not too old. You are not too weak. You are not too late. You just need to start with simple actions. Speak to yourself in English for a few minutes every day. Watch videos with subtitles. Write your thoughts in English. Learn a handful of new words daily. Talk to the mirror. Don't care about grammar at first. Care about courage. You don't need to speak perfectly. You just need to start speaking. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You just need to sound like you, with confidence. Learning English is not like buying a phone. A phone gets old. Clothes get old. Even your body ages. But the skills you build, especially language skills, they grow, they compound, and they open new doors for the rest of your life. With English, you can study anything from anywhere. You can get international jobs. Work from home for foreign companies. Teach others and earn. Speak to anyone in the world. Start your own YouTube channel, podcast, or blog. Travel confidently. Learn any new subject 10 times faster. And most importantly, you stop feeling trapped in silence. You start feeling powerful in communication. You want freedom? Learn English. You want confidence? Learn English. You want to grow faster than most people around you? Learn English. It's not just a language. It's your weapon, your tool, your passport to the future. Start small, start now, but never stop. Another powerful investment is to find a mentor, someone who can help you learn from experiences you haven't lived yet. In every great system, whether it's a business, a military unit, or even nature itself, there's a principle of guidance. The young learn by observing the experienced. The beginner survives by learning from those who've already failed and recovered. This is not just wisdom. This is survival. That's why one of the greatest investments you can ever make in yourself is finding a mentor. But not just anyone who's older, or someone who talks a lot, or someone with a title or degree. A mentor is someone who has already achieved or survived what you're struggling with. A mentor has lived your future. They've made mistakes you haven't made yet. And because of that, they can turn 10 years of struggle into 1 year of growth. Think about the airline industry. Every commercial pilot, no matter how talented, must train under an experienced pilot. Why? Because you can't just read about engine failure and understand the panic of real-world failure. You can't simulate the human reaction of losing altitude until you've been in a cockpit with a mentor who has faced it and survived. That's why pilots spend hundreds of hours with a senior instructor beside them. They learn what not to do, what to ignore, what to pay attention to, what to expect in storms, and how to respond when things go wrong. That mentor is not just teaching flight. They're teaching survival. The same principle applies to your life. Without a mentor, you try to figure everything out alone. You repeat the same mistakes thousands of people have already made. You waste months on the wrong books, the wrong plans, the wrong tools. You get stuck in perfectionism because you don't know what good enough looks like. You quit early because no one is there to tell you, this is normal. Keep going. The cost of not having a mentor isn't just slower growth. It's unnecessary suffering. A real mentor doesn't spoon feed you. They don't just give you fish. They show you how to think. They teach you how to prioritize, eliminate distractions, focus on systems instead of luck, make better decisions, recover faster from failure, and see the long game instead of chasing short-term wins. Mentors upgrade your thinking engine. And once your thinking changes, your results start changing automatically. So how do you find mentor, even if you're unknown or broke? Forget the myth that you need someone famous. You don't. Look for someone just one level ahead of you. For example, if you're learning to design logos, don't message the CEO of Nike. Instead, find someone who just landed their first freelance client. Their experience is fresh. They remember the struggle. They can speak to your stage. Next, give before you ask. In nature, nothing is free energy. If you want mentors' time, attention, or advice, give value first. Share their work. Leave a thoughtful comment. Write about something they taught you. Offer to help with small tasks, proofreading, design, or feedback. Show that you're a student who applies knowledge, not just collects it. Most people ask like this, "Can you mentor me?" That's the wrong way. The right way sounds like this. "Hi, I read your article on portfolio design. I followed your method, built a new portfolio, and got my first reply from a client. Thank you. Can I ask one more question about pricing?" That message shows respect, action, and effort, and that's why it gets a reply. And finally, don't be afraid to pay for mentorship if needed. Your future is worth it. Sometimes mentorship costs money, and that's not a scam. That's a shortcut with accountability. If you're stuck and a mentor offers a paid session, treat it like fuel. If it saves you 6 months of pain, was it worth the price? Absolutely. Absolutely. The most successful industries require mentorship. Pilots, surgeons, soldiers, builders, athletes. They all grow under someone who has seen more and survived more. Don't be afraid to follow someone who has walked your path. Be afraid of walking blindly into failure you could have avoided. Your mentor doesn't need to be a hero. They just need to be one chapter ahead. Find them, study them, serve them, learn from them. That's how you multiply your growth and save your future. Now let's talk about something that has transformed lives, built empires, and rescued people from financial ruin. Selling. Selling is not begging. It's not scamming. It's not manipulation. Selling is simply this. Here is something valuable. Do you want it? That simple action, offering something for value in return, is the engine of personal power. The people who sell control their time, control their income, control their future. But the people who are afraid to sell, they wait, they depend, they suffer. Think about something as simple as a supermarket. Do they create food from scratch? No. Do they plant the rice or catch the fish? No. They organize, present, and sell value. A banana might cost a few cents at the market, but it costs much more in the supermarket. Why? Because it's packaged clean and easy to grab. The banana didn't change, but the presentation of value did. That's the power of selling. If you can take something raw, package it with care, explain its value simply, and deliver it to the right person, then you can sell. And if you can sell once, you can sell again. And if you can sell again, you are no longer dependent on anyone. When you sell something, even once, you instantly improve your speaking and listening, confidence and rejection handling, money mindset, empathy and service, resourcefulness. Selling teaches you what people value, not just what you think is valuable. That's a skill books can't give you. Only experience can. Here's the truth. You don't need a business. You don't need a factory. You don't need thousands of followers. All you need is one small offer, one person who needs it, one sentence that explains the result. Can you design a basic logo? Offer to do one for a small price. Can you edit videos? Offer to edit 1-minute reels for small creators. Can you teach spoken English? Offer one 30-minute class. Can you write product descriptions? Offer one for just a few dollars. The goal is not to become a millionaire overnight. The goal is this: I offered something. Someone paid me. I now believe I can create income with my own value. That belief is the root of freedom. The moment you sell something, ask for feedback, ask for a testimonial, improve the offer, raise the price slightly, repeat to a new group, then create a system. A simple message you send to new people, a portfolio or screenshot, a calendar or delivery time, a follow-up message. With this, you have your first mini business. And from that, your self-respect grows like wildfire. Before selling, most people feel like beggars. Can I get a job? Can someone give me money? Am I good enough? But after selling, the mindset shifts. I can create value. I don't need permission. If I can sell this, I can build something. That confidence doesn't come from affirmations. It comes from doing. One sale, one message, one offer. That's where your power starts. Selling is not about shouting. It's about understanding. Understanding what someone needs and helping them get it. The banana didn't change, but the way it was offered did. You don't need to change who you are. You need to package what you already have and offer it. When you learn to sell, you stop being afraid of rejection. You stop waiting. You start building. You take your power back, one sale at a time. Now, let's talk about building a second income stream. Don't let your future depend on one job. The truth is this: if your only source of income is your job, your freedom is an illusion. If the company fails, if the boss changes, if the rules shift, if you get sick, if the economy crashes, your entire life can collapse overnight. That's why one of the smartest and most life-changing investments you can ever make is building a second income stream. One that doesn't depend on your job, your energy, or your availability. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Imagine a small local coffee shop. Their entire income comes from one thing: customers walking in and ordering coffee. But what if one day there's a flood or a lockdown or construction outside, or customers stop coming? That shop, no matter how good it is, could be finished. Now imagine if that same coffee shop also sold branded mugs online, delivered cold brews through an app, offered coffee bean subscriptions, uploaded coffee tutorials on YouTube, taught barista skills through an online course, partnered with offices for weekly supply deliveries. What happens if the physical shop shuts down for a week? They still earn. That's the power of multiple income streams. A second income stream is something you build once, and it pays you again and again without you needing to be there all the time. It could be selling a digital product, an ebook, a template, a design, a course. It could be affiliate marketing, promoting someone else's product and earning a percentage. It could be investing in rental property, dividend stocks, or automated stores. It could be licensing your photos, music, writing, or ideas. This is not about getting rich fast. This is about never being poor again, even when your job disappears. So, how do you start building your second stream? Even as a beginner, pick a skill you already know, no matter how small. Typing fast, cooking, painting, organizing, using Canva, basic finance, making tea, anything. Turn it into something teachable, sellable, or scalable. Can you teach it? Create a mini video series or ebook. Sell it? Offer a package online. Use it? Start a side service. Create a one-time asset. For example, make 10 simple templates and sell them online. Record 3 videos on how to build a Canva resume and put them on YouTube. Build 1 digital planner and sell it to students. Then, set up the system to run without you. Use platforms like Payhip, Etsy, Gumroad, Skillshare, or YouTube. Add basic automation for delivery. Answer messages once a day, not live every hour. Market it slowly but consistently. Post once a week. Create 1 piece of content explaining how your product helps. Share feedback or reviews. Build trust through repetition. Here's the reality. If your life is tied to 1 salary, 1 client, 1 project, you are 1 decision away from disaster. All it takes is 1 email saying, "We're letting you go." 1 medical emergency, 1 life event, and everything you built for years can vanish unless you have something else that pays you while you sleep. Building a second income stream also builds confidence. You no longer fear losing your job. It builds creativity. You learn how to turn ideas into income. It builds patience, because building assets takes time and discipline. It builds skill. You learn tech, marketing, communication, and systems. And most importantly, it builds freedom. It's not about becoming rich. It's about becoming unshakable. This is your emergency parachute, your backup engine, your safety net, and maybe even your future full-time dream. Don't wait until life forces you. Start small, build slowly, but never again depend on only 1 source to feed your dreams. Let's talk about something that seems small, but changes everything. Your tools. The quality of your tools reflects the quality of your standards. The tools you use are silently shaping the quality of your work, your time, and your confidence. If you're using old, slow, broken, or cheap tools, you're not just slowing down your progress. You're silently telling your brain, my work doesn't deserve better. That's why one of the smartest self-investments you can ever make is upgrading your tools. Not for show, not for flex, but because better tools create better results. Imagine a carpenter building furniture. If he uses a hammer that's 10 years old, with a loose grip and a chipped head, every nail bends, the wood cracks, and his frustration grows. He spends more time fixing mistakes than creating. But when he buys a new, balanced, shock-resistant hammer, every nail goes in straight. The grip feels right, the results improve, and the work gets done faster. Same carpenter, same skill, but the right tool makes him twice as effective. What are tools in your life? A chair that supports your posture, a laptop that doesn't freeze, a phone that takes good videos for your content, a microphone that makes your voice sound clear, a faster internet plan that saves you 30 minutes a day, a good pair of shoes if you walk a lot, a solid desk for studying, a better app that automates your daily routine, a set of books, planners, headphones, or lighting. These are not luxuries. They are extensions of your brain. Every poor tool adds micro-frustration. Every good tool adds silent confidence. Cheap earphones make your calls sound unprofessional. An old camera makes your product look bad. A lagging laptop makes you avoid work. Weak lighting strains your eyes. A broken chair ruins your focus and hurts your back. Weak apps cause mistakes and waste time. Every tool you use is either saving you time, saving your health, and helping you create better work, or it's quietly draining you. You don't need to upgrade everything at once. Start small. Make a list of the 3 tools you use the most. Where do you feel slow, irritated, or tired? Pick just one tool to upgrade this month. If a tool saves you 1 hour every week, that's over 50 hours a year. If it costs you a small amount but gives you back that much time, it's not an expense. It's an investment. Sell or give away the old one. Make room. Treat your tools with respect. When you work with better tools, you feel more professional. You respect your work more. You procrastinate less. You enjoy the process. You stop saying, "I'll do it later," because you actually finish faster and with higher quality. Tools affect behavior. Behavior affects results. Results affect identity. A master can create with bad tools, but that same master will create something extraordinary with great tools. Stop forcing your brain to carry the weight your tools should be carrying. You are not lazy. Your tools might just be slow. You are not unmotivated. Your tools might just be uninspiring. You are not behind. Your tools might simply be holding you back. Upgrade one tool today and watch your entire system upgrade tomorrow. Now, let's talk about one of the most profitable skills in the world, communication. You can be intelligent, creative, and highly skilled, but if you cannot explain your ideas clearly, you will always be misunderstood, underestimated, and underpaid. That's why one of the most powerful self-investments you can make is improving your communication. This isn't just about public speaking or debating. It's about clear, impactful, respectful communication. Whether you're talking to a client, a friend, your boss, your parents, your audience, or even yourself. Imagine 2 scientists in a lab. Both discover a solution that could change public health. The first one has all the data, charts, and years of testing. But when she speaks, she sounds cold, technical, robotic. People don't understand her. She explains the what and the how, but never the why. She talks for 10 minutes, but no one remembers a word. The second scientist takes a different approach. He says, imagine if your child had asthma and couldn't play outside. Now imagine that the solution could change that child's life in 3 months without side effects. Then he pauses, shows one simple image, and explains the results with calm confidence. What happens? The second scientist gets the funding, the audience trusts him, and the government invites him to speak again. Same science, same facts, different communication. This is the truth. People don't buy the best ideas. They buy the best explained ideas. When you improve your communication, everything improves. Your interviews, your meetings, your relationships, your leadership, your ability to teach, sell, and inspire. Communication is the bridge that connects your brain to the world. If you master it, people listen. If you don't, people ignore you, even if you're a genius. It's not about talking more. It's about making others understand clearly and feel something real. Great communicators listen deeply before they speak. They use simple words instead of complicated ones. They give examples to make things visual. They pause instead of rushing. They respect time, using short but powerful sentences. They use tone, not just words. They speak from the heart, not just the mind. How do you start improving communication today? Speak slower on purpose. Fast talking feels like fear. Calm speech feels like control. Record yourself explaining something simple, then listen back. Practice in front of a mirror. Here's what I believe. Here's why I believe it. Here's what I want to say. Watch a TED Talk each week, not just for fun, but to study phrasing, tone, and pauses. Read aloud for a few minutes daily. Focus less on big words and more on big clarity. Practice asking for help, giving honest feedback, saying no without guilt, pitching an idea in 1 minute, explaining your skills in an interview, introducing yourself in a way people remember. Look around. Presidents, entrepreneurs, spiritual leaders, YouTubers, authors, teachers. What do they all have in common? They know how to communicate a message that makes people feel seen, understood, and inspired. That's not talent. That's a trainable skill. And you can start training it now. The world is full of people with talent who remain invisible. Don't let that be you. If you can speak clearly, you can lead. You can sell. You can inspire. You can change lives, starting with your own. Build trust, and you can teach. Teach, and you can change lives. The fastest way to multiply your presence in any room is to learn how to speak so that people feel it remember it, and respect it. That is communication, and it will always remain your most valuable asset. Now, let's go deeper into something most people ignore, but every successful person quietly protects: their creative space. Creativity is not just for artists. It is a fuel behind every invention, every breakthrough, every movement that has ever changed the world. Whether you're an engineer, a teacher, an entrepreneur, a student, a designer, a coder, or a homemaker, creativity is what keeps your mind alive. When your brain stops playing, stops imagining, and only runs in straight lines, something inside you starts to wither. That's why one of the most powerful investments you can make in yourself is to explore creativity regularly. Not once a year, not just on weekends, but as consistently as you feed your body. Feed your imagination. Picture two companies. The first one is brilliant, logical, structured. People work 9 to 5, follow systems, hit deadlines, obey rules. Everything is correct, but nothing is extraordinary. Their products are good, but never great. The second company also has structure, but once a week, they hold a crazy idea session. No limits, no fear, no judgment. Someone throws out a suggestion that seems too wild at first, but ends up becoming their next billion-dollar product. The difference? In one place, creativity was tolerated. In the other, creativity was celebrated. That's exactly what you need in your own life. Creativity means finding new solutions when the old ones fail. It's discovering a fresh way to energize your routine. It's saying, "I love you," in a way you've never said it before. It's starting a project, launching a channel, or building a business when others say it can't be done. Creativity isn't about painting. It's about solving life with color and courage. And it doesn't take much to awaken it. Take silent walks without your phone and let your thoughts breathe. Keep a notebook where you write down 5 wild ideas each week. Rearrange your room just to see it differently. Visit a gallery, a museum, or even just a park, and look at things you don't usually notice. Listen to music you don't understand. Just let yourself feel it. Watch short, imaginative films. Write a small story, a poem, or a dialogue. These simple acts are like oxygen for your mind. When the job market shifts, creative people adapt. When a business collapses, they redesign. When others quit, they reinvent. When the map disappears, they draw their own. That isn't luck. It's creativity trained through regular exploration. The future doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to those who can imagine something new. But here's another truth. Creativity alone is not enough if your beliefs are still your prison. You are not living your life. You are living your beliefs. And most of those beliefs were not created by you. They were planted in you by childhood, by culture, by society, by teachers, by parents, by past failures, and by other people's fears. Think of the elephant in the circus. When it is young, they tie its leg to a small rope fixed to the ground. The elephant struggles at first, but eventually gives up. Years later, it has grown massive, strong enough to break free in an instant, but it never tries. Why? Because it still believes it cannot. The rope is no longer holding the elephant. The belief is, that is exactly what false beliefs do to us. I'm too old to start now. I always fail. People like me don't succeed. I'll never be fluent in English. If I'm not perfect, I'll be judged. None of these are facts. They are borrowed beliefs, passed down by people who stop believing in themselves. You don't break them with blind positive thinking. You break them with awareness and evidence. Write down the limiting belief. Ask yourself, who gave this to me? Was it a parent, a teacher, a heartbreak, a mistake? Then ask, did that person live the life I want? If not, why am I still carrying their belief as my truth? Then find proof that the opposite is possible. Look at people who started late and still succeeded. Look at people who struggled in school but became brilliant. Your belief is a lens. Change the lens, and the same world looks completely different. Instead of asking, why am I always like this? Ask, what if I lived as if the opposite were true? What if you believed you can learn anything with enough time? What if you believed you don't need perfection to begin? What if you believed you could rewrite your story? Beliefs shape your choices, your habits, your relationships, your energy, your confidence, and your future. If you believe nothing will change, you won't act. If you believe growth is possible, you'll move, you'll speak, you'll build. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. You can upgrade your thoughts the same way you upgrade your phone. But if you don't, you'll keep running on outdated, broken beliefs that never belonged to you in the first place. Challenge them, break them, replace them. That is how real transformation begins. And finally, remember this. What you don't track, you can't improve. One of the greatest illusions that kills more dreams than failure is the thought, I'm not improving. Many people quit too early, not because they weren't growing, but because they couldn't see their growth. That's why you must measure it. Not obsessively, not emotionally, but clearly with eyes open. Because what you track grows, and what you ignore slowly fades away. Imagine a gym with no mirrors. People come in, train every day, sweat, push, run, and lift. But because they can't see their reflection, they think they look the same. They quit after months, even though their bodies were already transforming. They didn't stop growing. They just couldn't see it. Most people quit too early, not because they aren't growing, but because they can't see their growth. Imagine someone training hard at the gym. After a month, they look in the mirror and feel discouraged because they can't notice a difference. They forget how they looked a month ago. They give up, even though change is happening. Now imagine the same gym, but this time they track their progress. They take a photo every week. They record their strength once a month. They write down their sleep, their water intake, their energy levels. Suddenly, they see the small improvements. Their progress becomes visible. And because they can see it, they keep going. That is the power of measuring growth. It makes invisible progress visible. What can you track in your life? Not everything, but the right things. Track the vocabulary you learned this week. Track the pages you read this month. Track the hours you spent on your craft, the money you saved, the workouts you completed, the bad habits you skipped, the hours you focused, the moments you stayed calm under pressure, or the messages you sent to potential clients. These are not just numbers. They are proof of transformation. You don't need a fancy app or an expensive journal. You just need awareness. Choose a few areas of your life you want to improve. Maybe your English, your reading habit, or your income. Then choose one small thing to measure in each area. How many minutes did you practice speaking today? How many pages did you read? How much money did you save? Write it down somewhere simple, on paper, in a spreadsheet, or in your notes app. Review it at the end of each week and ask yourself, did I grow? What slowed me down? What helped me most? What should I change? When you measure your growth, you stop comparing yourself to others. You compare with who you were yesterday. You feel encouraged because you can see the tiny wins. You build momentum. You avoid self-doubt. You stop asking, am I growing? And start saying, I know I'm growing. Here's the proof. The truth is, most people stay stuck not because they never grow, but because they never notice their growth. It's like watering a seed every day, but giving up before the plant breaks the soil, forgetting that roots are forming underneath. You may already be becoming great. You just haven't written it down yet. Another powerful investment in yourself is to teach what you learn, because here's the truth. You don't truly understand something until you can explain it to someone else. The moment you teach, your confidence doubles, your skills sharpen, your memory deepens, and your clarity grows. And you don't need to wait until you're an expert. You don't need to read 100 books or get a degree. You can start right now. When you learn something valuable, share it. When you do, something magical happens. You understand it better, remember it longer, and build your identity as a contributor instead of just a consumer. Think of knowledge like a library. One library collects millions of books, but never lets anyone borrow them. The other shares them every day. Which library has more impact? The second one, because knowledge that is locked away dies, but knowledge that is shared multiplies. Teaching forces your brain to organize thoughts, speak clearly, simplify complex ideas, and handle questions. It turns information into understanding. And every time you explain, you grow stronger. You don't need years of experience. Beginners often explain things more simply than experts. Learn a few new English words today. Teach them in a 1-minute video. Read a page from a book. Summarize it for a friend. Learn a new digital skill. Show it in a short tutorial. Even something as small as sharing a mindset shift in a message can inspire someone else. You can share with friends, siblings, classmates, social media, or even in a WhatsApp group. You're not showing off. You're saying, "This helped me. Maybe it can help you too." That is service. That is teaching. That is growth. And something else begins to happen. Your brain recalls information faster. You stop being afraid to speak. People thank you, saying, "Wow, that was useful." You start owning the knowledge. You build one of the most valuable skills in the world, the ability to explain. Every teacher becomes a better learner because explaining forces evolution. You don't have to be a master to add value. You only need to be one step ahead of the person you're helping. Start small. Teach daily. Make it simple. Make it yours. When you teach what you learn, you invest not only in yourself, but also in others. And that makes your growth faster, deeper, and more meaningful. But growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in an environment. And one of the most overlooked investments you can ever make is improving your relationships. Because the truth is this, you can't grow in an environment that is constantly draining you. You can read every book, watch every motivational video, meditate for hours, but if the people around you are full of negativity, jealousy, criticism, or manipulation, then progress will always feel like climbing a mountain with a rope pulling you backward. Think of a rose plant. You water it daily, place it in the sun, care for it with love. But if the soil is dry, toxic, and full of weeds, the plant won't grow. The problem isn't the plant. The problem is the soil. The same is true for you. Sometimes it's not you holding yourself back. It's the environment you're planted in. The signs are clear. You feel drained after most conversations. You hide your dreams to avoid judgment. You walk on eggshells, afraid of saying the wrong thing. You feel guilt, manipulated, or constantly corrected. You feel less celebrated when you succeed. Instead of support, you feel tolerated. The soil is sick, and until you change it, your growth will always feel limited. You're the one always giving, supporting, and fixing, but no one does it for you. This doesn't mean these people are evil, but it means they are not your growth partners. Improving relationships doesn't always mean ending them. It means raising your standard and choosing what energy you allow near you. Set emotional boundaries. For example, say, "I'm working on something important. I'll reply later." You are not rude. You are protecting your peace. Have honest conversations. Tell someone, "I feel like I can't share my dreams around you. Can we talk about that?" Reduce time with people who shrink you. You don't need to make a big announcement. Just start saying no more often, spend less time, and use distance as medicine. Add people who grow with you. Join communities, classes, groups, and spaces where growth is normal. Talk to people who read, learn, support, listen, build, encourage, fail, and try again. Invest in emotionally intelligent people. They listen when you're low, tell you hard truths with kindness, and celebrate your wins even if they're behind. They don't gossip, they grow. If your current environment keeps killing your confidence, you'll never feel safe enough to grow. That's why improving relationships is not a soft skill. It's a survival system. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer emotional landmines around you. You don't need 100 friends, a perfect family, or loud, exciting, always there people. You need 1 or 2 people who love you unconditionally. You need a community that inspires, not competes. You need distance from what's draining your spirit. That is one of the most healing and powerful self-investments in the world. Protect your energy. Choose your circle. Speak your truth. Set boundaries. And let your life bloom in healthy soil. Now let's talk about invisible skills, the tools nobody sees but everyone feels. Most people chase visible skills. Learning software, practicing presentations, memorizing formulas, speaking fluently, showing certificates, posting success on social media. And yes, those are important. But what separates the extraordinary from the average is something much deeper. The invisible skills. These are the inner tools that make all your outer success possible. They include patience, focus, emotional control, deep thinking, discipline, self-awareness, decision-making, listening, energy management, time control, delayed gratification, mental recovery, clarity and chaos, thinking before reacting, and doing hard things without complaining. You won't get applause for these. You can't post a certificate for these. But everyone around you feels the difference when you have them. Imagine an iceberg. Only the tip is visible, but the massive foundation lies unseen beneath the surface. That's what invisible skills are. The world sees your results, achievements, and confidence. But what truly supports them is your self-control, quiet focus, and inner strength when no one is watching. If you ignore the invisible, your visible success will eventually collapse. That's why talented people often fail. The smart student who burns out, the confident speaker who suddenly quits, the brilliant coder who can't handle deadlines, the motivated learner who gives up after 2 weeks. They didn't fail because of lack of knowledge. They failed because they lacked invisible strength. They couldn't handle pressure, failure, rejection, delays, boredom, criticism, or self-doubt. It's like building a luxury house on weak foundations. It looks great until the storm comes. So how do you build invisible skills? Practice silence. Silence trains your brain to observe, not react. It sharpens patience, thinking, and emotional intelligence. Delay gratification. Choose long-term gains over short-term pleasures. Say no to distractions now, so you can say yes to growth later. Respond, don't react. Take a pause before applying when triggered. This builds emotional control. Do boring tasks with full attention. Fold clothes mindfully. Clean your table with presence. Read slowly and deeply. Invisible greatness is built in quiet, ordinary moments, not flashy ones. Pay attention to self-talk. Replace, "I can't do this" with "this is hard, but I can figure out." Every time you make that shift, you're rewiring your brain for resilience. Invisible skills give you lifelong results. People trust you more. You break old habits faster. You manage time better. You get promoted quietly. You make wiser decisions. You stay calm when others panic. You win silently. If you only build visible skills, you'll collapse under pressure. But if you first build invisible strength, you become unshakable. It won't be glamorous, won't get likes, but it will give you a life you're proud of. That's the ultimate reward. Another powerful investment is learning how to learn, the master skill that unlocks all others. The most successful people aren't those who know everything, but those who know how to learn anything faster, deeper, and better. If you learn how to learn, you can pick up any skill, adapt in any environment, recover from failure, master new technologies, and stay relevant. This is a meta skill that multiplies all other skills. Think of two people lost in a forest. One carries a heavy bag of separate tools. The other carries a Swiss Army knife, a single adaptable tool. Who survives longer? The adaptable one. Life is like that. Industries change, skills become outdated. But if you know how to learn, you can always adapt. Learning how to learn means developing systems to absorb information faster, retain it longer, and apply it practically. Use a Feynman technique. Explain what you learn in the simplest way, like teaching a child. Use spaced repetition. Review at intervals to strengthen memory. Use active recall. Test yourself instead of rereading notes. Break big topics into small chunks so progress feels achievable. And teach what you learn, because when you teach, you double your learning. The smartest learners also connect ideas across fields. A business person learns psychology to understand customers. A designer studies storytelling to make stronger brands. A language learner borrows memory techniques from chess masters. The more diverse you're learning, the more powerful your thinking becomes. When you master the skill of learning, you stop fearing failure. You stop getting stuck. You stop giving up after one try. You know that every skill is learnable, and that belief makes you unstoppable. School taught us what to learn. Life demands we master how to learn. Once you do, you become free. This is just the beginning. I will help you grow not just in English, but in life, confidence, mindset, power, and purpose. Tell me in the comments, what will you start applying today? Because this time there is no backup plan. Let's build your new life together.